were taking aren't even geared for the actual pain that you were feeling. They're to fix the problems, or I shouldn't say problems, but the side effects that you were experiencing from the medicines that were for the pain. So here you are with this huge list of medicines when CBD, when it's in your body, does not cause those same side effects and can help you as a whole instead of just one of your problems.
Which is exactly why I wanted to stop all my medicine. And I remember telling my wife, luckily I have a wife who's in the medical field, so she was able to help me wean off of Lyrica in a safe way and all my other meds. But I told her the side effects have become so confusing to the actual illness that I don't know what's my fibromyalgia and my pinched nerves in my back, and I don't know what's
it's all kind
medicine.
Of just running together.
You know? Yeah. And I'd rather know than feel crazy, so I'd rather just get off all of this stuff and try a lot of CBD, increase my CBD tremendously and see how I feel.
Yeah. So recap here. So 2014 is when you heard about CBD, which was really close to when you started to have that life shift from your illnesses. Yeah. And then 2015, you really started to dive in and start using CBD. Is that correct?
Yes. And then I remember because our email exchange on March 6th, 2017, I emailed you and I asked for my first bulk buy of bath bombs from you because I was tired of going to the club and them not having the scent I wanted or the milligram I wanted. And I knew that you were a friendly person from you setting up there. So I just emailed you and asked specifically, and that was 2017 in March. And it was just March, April, May. Let's see. No, it was just 3 weeks later. It was March 18th, 2017 when I had my last Lyrica because I was at a concert and I remember I had to take my last Lyrica while I was there and it sucked.
Wow.
But after that, it was bath bombs and your tincture. I met Greenthumb Naturals a few months later and he is a real kind guy and he was making the capsules. And that was a way to get a lot of tincture into my body quickly. And that's what really changed the game for me right away.
That is the benefit of the capsules. You get that precise dose, and it's just straight into the system, so you don't have to worry about, are you taking enough milliliters of the tincture, or are you getting it all in your body the right way? So that's good.
I also began having, because I was probably taking so much tincture, I was needing at this time, that I started to have kind of like when I would take the tincture, like a burning throat reaction to the oil. And so that's another reason that caps really helped me and some of my friends when they wanted more tincture and they didn't like the feeling on their throat, I guess.
Yeah. Was that allergy related or just from the oil?
My friend says it is for her. One of my friends says that she feels like it's a coconut allergy.
Yeah,
and honestly, this was during a time when my body, your entire body becomes so sensitive to everything as your fibromyalgia gets worse. And as maybe lupus developed in me, I don't know, but I became very sensitive to everything. So, yeah.
So what medicines would you say what medicines are you left using right now since you've taken the shift?
Okay, so the only prescription that I have is for an acne cream that I put on my face.
Wow.
I don't have anything. I stopped taking my antacid Prilosec over the counter. It was like a prescription from the doctor, but it was an off-brand stomach acid reducing pill. I stopped taking that because I learned that aloe vera water will do just as good, and my son needs something for stomach acid, and he started drinking aloe vera water. When it worked for him, I started drinking it too.
Wow.
So I don't take any prescriptions, which is a huge...
That's amazing.
Help for our income too, because I was spending about $120 I don't know, every 2 months on Lyrica, and that was with good insurance.
Yeah, and then all the other medications that you had to get as well.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've completely made the shift now from pharmaceuticals to CBD. Let's talk about your pain levels through that shift. Would you say that you experienced some heavy pain levels making the shift and any hardships?
Yeah, the hardest time, there was a few different weeks that were really bad, but the hardest time would be right after my son was born and we got way less sleep a night. The doctors would like people with fibromyalgia to get 12 hours of sleep a night. I say that again, 12 hours of sleep a night. People with fibro are laughing because we're lucky to get 6. We're very lucky to get 6. I was averaging 2 to 3, and I need 4 to 6 hours a night to function. So my pain levels were very high. It was all through my body, everything. Like, I can't even begin to describe, because at night, trying to put him to bed, rocking him, my feet would be on fire, and my wife would come in and she'd rub the Quartz CBD pain salve on my feet just so that I could tolerate standing to put him in the crib. Like, wow. The first 6 months of his life were the hardest on me and her. And then I had tendinitis surgery. I have carpal tunnel in both wrists, but that's just because I've always been busy, and that just happens with people. But I had tendinitis, and that was due to the fact that my son was a colicky baby. I did hold him like crazy and try to help him through colic. And because of my carpal tunnel and probably joint issues, who knows, a tendon or two popped, and the doctor tried to help me with cortisone injection. That didn't work, so then he had to go in surgically and clip those tendons, and they had to reconstruct on their own. Well, I'm allergic to narcotics, so the recovery from that surgery was pretty hard because I didn't have any way to take narcotics. I would vomit profusely if I did, and I just had to take a lot of CBD, and I know I was rubbing CBD salve on my incision area a lot, and I was taking a lot of CBD salves, tinctures. I was taking a lot of tincture during that time to try to make it through.
So those were the items that you used to get through that, and obviously a lot of mental strength.
Yes, and I had my gallbladder removed during these times too, so I've technically had 2 surgeries with no pharmaceuticals. And
just CBD.
After. I did go to the ER once thinking like they were going to help me, but they can't do it.
Wow. So you used the Quartz Trading Co. 100 milligram CBD salve, and did you use our Quartz Trading Co. tincture, or did you use another company?
Yeah.
So the Quartz Trading Co. tincture too. Nice.
And Greenthumb Naturals tincture and caps. He sent me a gift package of his salve. And then actual isolate, learning that I can buy direct isolate from Quartz Trading Company from you, and then also from Dank Dabber, and learning to buy in bulk, like half ounces at a time if you can, and then you have your own medicine to make your own tinctures. And the Dank Dabber has helped me a lot just to learn about just CBD like you have, because he takes the time to educate people. Knowledge
is power.
Yes.
It's so important in this industry. I mean, owning a company, especially, it's important to have that knowledge and take the time to explain it to people, because there are so many companies out there that don't do that and don't know what they're doing that well. So it's hard to build that trust with the people so that they know that you're providing a quality medicine for them.
Yes, exactly.
So Dank Dabber, you said, would be a good reference. He's helped you a lot. Did you use any books or any articles or any other references that you may want to pass on to the listeners?
Oh, just using Google, like per symptom that you have, and actually like using CBD good for knee pain, CBD good for headaches, and then you'll find out I did that more than anything.
Right. And if you decide to Google anything with CBD in it, it's pretty easy to tell which articles to trust and which articles not to trust. Usually they'll have some medical research or some sort of research article backing up their information. So you always want to look for that and just make sure everything is squared away. One thing I found was a book that I just started reading that I'm loving. It's called Healing with CBD. And it's actually by a nurse. Her name's Eileen Konieczny. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her last name, but it's really cool because there's a medical cannabis log in it. So for those who are interested in switching to CBD but not sure if it's working well enough, the log is a great way to track step by step what you're feeling, and that way you can go back and look at how much CBD you were consuming and what your pain levels were that day, so you can make your adjustments as you need to.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I'll put that in the show notes for the listeners to reference if they are interested in picking that book up. Maybe I'll even try to copy the log, and if you guys want to build your own logs, you can go ahead and do that. I had another question about using CBD. What was your favorite method that you found that works the best with CBD? So this is like, okay.
Bath bombs, but people with post-orthostatic tachycardia syndrome are going to find that you can't have a hot bath. And, showers and baths just wear me out differently than they used to. But for muscle aches and joint pain, if you can sit in a bath for 20 minutes with a CBD bath bomb, you're going to find a lot of relief for a few hours after.
And sleep like a baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I found actually a pretty interesting fact too, that when you take CBD about a half an hour after you eat a fatty meal, people are getting nearly 5 times more CBD. So this is versus taking it on an empty stomach, where your body,
good to know.
Yeah, where your body processes more of it and doesn't, I guess, absorb the most as it can into your bloodstream. But another thing I should mention too, now if you're on a keto diet, you have to be careful because you are consuming so much fat, and I think it's the fats that are taking the CBD into the bloodstream with it. So if you are on a high fat diet like the keto diet, then you actually would need less CBD since you're absorbing more of it. So that was pretty interesting. That information came from the CBDproject.org, which, if you haven't heard of it, they've been around for years. And if you want to find a research article or any sort of study, that's probably the best website for that. They have tons of studies on there.
Cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask also which products you found to be most effective. I know you've mentioned the bath bomb, so would you say that's probably the most effective product you've found for yourself?
It is, but it's not practical for everybody because not everybody has a bathtub. A lot of people have stand showers. But if there's a way that you can get the CBD on your muscles and joints that hurt quickly, then that route is going to work. And so if you have really bad knee pain, the tincture isn't necessarily going to help you, but the pain salve will. I have to use the pain salve on my knees and back and neck probably 5 to 6 times a day easy.
Wow.
To some extent. So, and with that, I just have different CBD pain salves all around my house that I grab. They're in every room because that's how bad and quickly I need it.
Yeah, constantly putting it on those areas of pain.
Because, it works great, but it only works for about an hour with severe pain. But then you just got to do it again every hour or two.
And you also do the capsules daily, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just for the listeners' purpose too, I'm going to make a comment on our CB receptors because we have 2 of them. And in order to supplement the CB1 receptor, you would have to orally ingest the CBD. So
yes,
that would be through the capsules or the tinctures. And then when you apply the CBD topically, it interacts with your CB2 receptor and other cannabinoids that your body is already making. And that's why it's able to provide relief for the muscle tension and nerves and bones and such. But to get it into the bloodstream, you have to ingest it. Yeah. So let's talk brands. What are your favorite CBD brands? Your favorite CBD companies?
I would say if money was no, if money, because I like to support the little guys, but Emu Oil makes really good products. However, they say that they extract the oil from the emu bird in a kind way that doesn't affect them, and I'm just going to have to trust them on that. It's a very good brand, but it's costly.
Yeah.
Pure Ratios has amazing stuff. Pure Ratios has a lot of good products, aside from just because their patches vary in CBD amount too, which is nice.
Right.
And I really like Quartz Trading Company. I like Greenthumb Naturals. I like